I try to make sense of Islam and it is difficult to make sense of it. Even though if I try very hard, still it is very difficult to make sense of some of the Islamic teachings.
I don't need to bring it to how does it happen, but it doesn't make sense to me. Who cares with your little brain? Who are you with your little brain to try to understand this thing?
Please help me out as I'm trying to understand Allah and his sperm bank. Yes, sperm bank. Yep, you got that correct. You heard that correct. Islamic tradition is talking about how under the throne of Allah, Allah has these zillions and zillions and zillions and zillions of semens, and those semens will be thrown down on the last days so that new life can start. Let's just read the hadith and then try to make sense of it. This is according to Al-Qurtubi. Allah will send forth a fluid from the beneath the throne, like the semen, manly of men, and from it their flesh and their bodies will grow forth, just as the earth sprouts anew when moistened by dew. And he recited, as we began the first creation, we will make it new.
When you get a hadith that is so problematic,
it seems all very much making no sense. So let's bring our attention to the similar stories from the different source. Then Allah will send fluid from the beneath the throne, ejaculating like the semen of man, and their bodies and flesh will grow forth from that fluid, just as the earth sprouts anew when moistened by dew. So while reading from two sources, it made no sense to me. I just don't understand why Allah is holding this sperm bank. What Allah is doing with these semens up there under his throne. So let's bring our attention to Mufti Abu Layth, get his first reaction to this.
Hadith about sperm showering down on people. This sperm, God has this kind of sperm bank beneath his throne, and he will ejaculate. I don't know how he'll ejaculate this sperm, but Yumni is going to ejaculate this sperm onto the earth so the earth can grow again. I mean, what kind of disgusting nonsense is that? Why would you want to believe stupid, dumb stuff like that? I mean, if you want to believe it, then, go for it, man. Knock yourself out, dumb stuff. And
so, what do we do when things are not making sense to us? I'm finding it difficult to make sense of why Allah is holding zillions of semen under his throne and going to rain them down. So let's get Mufti Abu Layth's take on this. How does he handle the hadiths which are identified as problematic or nonsense and not rational?
Then Allah will now I have to translate this, so brace yourselves, people. Allah will send, there's a fluid from beneath the arsh which will ejaculate like the sperm of men. Whoa, people, let me repeat. Look at it for yourselves. ثُمَّ يُرْسِلُ اللَّهُ مَاءً. Allah will send down on earth, shower down on earth, fluid from beneath his arsh. So beneath his throne, there's a collection of fluid, which is كَمَنِيِّ الرِّجَالِ, which is like the sperm of men. This is going to shower down on the globe, and what's going to happen is this is going to then give birth to once again life. So sperm. So for that, people, I had to yeah. So oh yaar ye blizzard, huh? yaar ye kya ho raha hai yaar? What's this? What kind of games are?
It's good that Mufti is finding this funny. Just in caution, I don't think when the sperms were showering down from the throne of Allah, umbrella is going to help. So, therefore, I gently encourage people to get in touch with people who live in the USA to figure out how to deal with such events, like when they are kind of expert on hurricanes and tornadoes. Get some information. Umbrella is not going to save anyone when the sperms of Allah is dropping down.
Oh यार ये blizzard हाँ यार ये क्या हो रहा है यार? What's this? What kind of games are? So Allah is going to send down a blizzard of sperm-like, sorry, man sperm-like fluid. So this, and for some reason, this sperm bank is under the throne of God. I mean, that's what this actually is saying. Look, and it mentions yumni, that it will come down as it will be ejaculated down onto. Abbe yaar ye, what on earth is going on? Seriously, I mean, what on earth is going on here? This is so preposterous, honestly.
While Mufti finds it funny, of course, yes, I join him and then ask the same question: what on earth is happening? On a side note, so Allah is holding this sperm bank under his throne. Zillions and zillions of sperms. Allah didn't do a very good job when it comes to his last prophet. Allah could just land one sperm from his throne to Muhammad for Muhammad to have heir. Oh, for Allah was very selfish. Allah held all those sperms to himself and didn't even share one with Muhammad. But anyway, so while these stories are all nonsense, so how do we deal? Simply, Mufti Abu Layth is rejecting these teachings. So one Muslim rejects this. Then where do I go? I am non-Muslim, so I want to make sense of it. I want to understand it. So I am going to bring my attention to Yasir Qadhi. I am sure as a sheikh of sheikhs, he will be able to unpack how do we deal with hadiths such as kind of makes us to question the rationality.
Is that they bring a whole bunch of rational objections, right? That these reports don't make any sense. The notion of rejecting mutawatir ahadith simply because it is not rational, right? Books, they're willing to challenge notions based upon rationalistic arguments. Khalas, that's Allah's sharia. And the fact that the Prophet ﷺ said so is in fact a shari'i justification.
While Yasir Qadhi is identifying that, yes, those stories are not logical, but even though they are not logical, we cannot still reject them. Why? Because Muhammad said it, it is justified. Allah said it, therefore it is justified. You cannot reject something because of your rationality. When you use your brain, when your brain cells start moving and start thinking, Yasir Qadhi is saying, don't do that when it comes to Islam. When it comes to the hadiths which challenging your way of thinking, all you've got to do is don't think about them. Allah said it, Muhammad justified it, khalas, it's done deal. It is done deal, you can't do anything about it. So then what do? I'm still trying to make sense of it. Mufti Abu Layth tells me, well, these are damn nonsense problematic teachings. Yasir Qadhi says, well, don't use your rationality, do not use your logic. From Mufti to Sheikh, it's a bit confusing, so where do I go? Well, I can turn my attention to get the answer from Muslim missionaries, defenders of Islam, missionaries who are inviting people into Islam. What do they say when the teachings of Islam is nonsense, dumb, problematic, and doesn't make any sense?
Why do we have to understand everything in the context where, why does it always have to be logical? Why does it have to be something where we're like, oh, explain it to me logically, or, I'm going to start doubting things. I have to understand this logically. Who do you think you are? The problem is this: taking the aql over the naql. That is exactly our problem, and we apply this into our day-to-day life.
So what I get from Muslim missionary when I turn to them? Well, simply I got told off to simply questioning using my logic. So what is it? You do not use your akal. Don't use your rationality. Don't use your reasoning. You just take it because it has been said so. Not very much different from Yasir Qadi. Akal versus nakal. Nakal overrides the akal. It doesn't have to be logical at all. After listening all this, I can still confirm that it doesn't make any sense to me. These teachings are nonsense. Really, really nonsense. It makes no sense that Allah has sperm bank. It makes no sense that from the throne of Allah, those semens are gonna rain down. As I said, umbrella is not going to help anyone. Muslims, keep away from Islam. See how nonsensical teachings of Islam. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. These teachings are problematic, dangerous. You don't even know whom you need to follow. But all you are told is, well, you need to make a choice between your reasoning, your logic, versus you just need to believe. Blind faith. Oh, dear Muslims, walk away from these teachings and then rescue yourself when the tornado or hurricanes of these sperms are falling down from throne of Allah. Protect yourself and put yourself under the wings of Lord Jesus Christ. God warns us. My people are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. God of Bible says, come, let's reason together. You don't have to leave your brain at home or somewhere else or hand it over to someone else. You can still use your brain. All you need to do is give up Islam. Because Islam doesn't allow you to use your brain and then makes you to believe in these nonsense, stupid teachings. Like, really think about it. Allah is having this like whole sperm bank under his throne and he didn't even allow Muhammad to make babies? Oof, very selfish God, very selfish God. Keep yourself away from that God. Keep yourself from these stupid teachings.